What are you doing, Zoltan?
Oh, hi John. Sorry. Yeah, this video is about workout? No, this is for the photography show. Okay, yeah, sorry. By the way, workout is important because you have to handle heavy telescope mounts, heavy telescopes sometimes. So in our business, we move to smaller telescopes and smaller telescope mounts, but still some people would enjoy really heavy stuff. So keeping your muscles informed, that's important, I would say. Now, photography show. So this video has been, or we are shooting it right now for the photography show. My name is Zoltan, and this is 365 Astronomy. So, what shall we talk about?
Well, I think the first thing to do, Zoltan, is talk about the banners you have behind you. Should we start in the corner of this one here?
Right, so, yes, so Emerald Digital Planetarium Systems. We supply these wonderful projector systems together with the domes for schools, universities, private individuals who run their own shows, and they can be used for a variety of projects, not only for astronomy, but you can teach biology, geophysics, and lots of different things, medicine. So yeah, they are available in various sizes, so you can get like a 5-meter dome, a 6-meter dome, or even larger, much larger domes as well.
So these are complete systems then, basically.
Yeah, so you have the dome with the blower, and you have the projector with a fisheye lens, so it stands in the middle of the room with a sound system, and it comes with a series of different videos, 3D videos. Yeah, so it's a complete system. Yeah, and you can start teaching the children straight away.
Okay. Moving round, just behind you, I see that there's got another banner here from ZWO. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, so ZWO is practically became our main supplier, and I started it about 5-6 years ago. So we were the first selling ZWO cameras, and from having just a few cameras for planetary imaging, they have grown into a really large supplier of deep sky cameras, planetary imagers, guide cameras, and with lots of accessories now. So we started with, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 products, and now we have, I think, about 130 different products. Lots of accessories for astrophotography. So these are the larger cameras, cooled cameras. So those who are not familiar with astrophotography, you can use a DSLR camera, but DSLR cameras are good for a short, quick shot. But when you want to do a long exposure imaging, then the sensor is it's like a processor, it's like a microprocessor, so it will actually produce quite a lot of heat, and that heat introduces a lot of noise, electronic noise. So that's why if you want to do long exposure imaging, then cooled cameras are the way to do. And planetary imagers, guide cameras. So some people enjoy imaging Jupiter, Saturn, other planets, the moon. And the guide cameras are important because when you do long exposure imaging, then you use a telescope mount, and the telescope mount will only track the movement of the sky depending on how well you set up that telescope. So if your setup is more or less precise, but there is wind, there is periodic error, so basically it comes from the imprecisions of the gears, and all these mean that when you take a long exposure, then the image will move a little bit. and to compensate that tiny movement, you have a feedback system which is based on a guide camera looking at a star, and when it sees that the star moves, then it sends a signal back to the mount to position it back into that location, that direction of that star, of the guide star. There are actually more sophisticated systems now where they do multi-star guiding. We will get into this later.
Okay, moving
Okay.
around here, I see the other banner here is Primaluce Lab.
Yeah, Primaluce Lab is one of our other very big suppliers from Italy. Yeah, they manufacture beautiful products. So these are their focusers. So on many telescopes, the focusers are acceptable or sometimes not so much acceptable, and then it might be a good idea to replace it, and some people would like to automate the focusing. Then they would actually connect these focusers into a computer and remotely control them. And these are high precision instruments that can hold a heavy instrument behind here. So a heavy camera, a filter wheel, etc. Yeah.
So yeah, the other products here. There's a Eagle Core.
Yeah,
Is
so
the
the
next
Eagle
one.
Core might be a very interesting product for the visitors of the photography show, because this is astrophotography based on DSLRs. So if you have a small or medium-sized apochromatic telescope or a refractor, etc., then you can connect the DSLR, but you would still have to do quite a lot. So you need a guide scope, a guide camera, and you can connect all these to this clever instrument, which is practically a small computer called Eagle Core. You can see here we have a Wi-Fi antenna, and you can connect to your mobile phone, whether it's Android or an Apple iPhone, and you can control it from there. So you do the guiding, you do the image acquisition. So basically you take the images and control your DSLR camera from there. They have tested and set up this system with lots of different cameras. So they had to actually have all these cameras in hand to set them up. So it was a really big job for Primaluce Lab, but they have done a very good job in that. Now I should mention that we will be running a special promotion only for the time of the show on the 6th and 7th of March, and it will there will be a 10% off from the price of the Eagle Core. So if you are interested, then I would suggest to check out on our website this promotion.
Oh, I see you've got a slightly more advanced version here.
Yeah, so
of
the Eagle Core has its own application developed, so it makes it very easy to use it. But if you wanted a little bit more control, some sophisticated software, so you have your own software, then we have a full Windows-based computer. This is a mini computer. It's actually a bit smaller than this. I will show you later what is the real size of that. And it does a lot of things. So you can power your camera, your cold camera. You can power the mount. You can power the dew heater rings. Because especially in the UK, but in many other countries as well, at night you have dew. So that's a problem, that when you point the telescope at stars, especially when it's near to zenith, so above your head, then the lens will dew up, and you can avoid it by having a dew heater ring around the telescope lens. Okay, so So basically it's a Windows-based system. You have USB ports. You also have, you can see on at the background, there are two Wi-Fi antennas. So again, you can connect to your laptop or PC and sit inside of a warm room whilst the telescope is working outside and imaging the sky. Yeah.
Okay. On my video I did of my system, I mentioned Optolong L-enhanced filter. Could you give us a little bit more information about it, please?
Okay, so when you have a telescope set up to image the sky, then one of the big problems is light pollution. Now, light pollution can come from various sources. It can be your neighbor's kitchen window or first floor windows, or it might come from a general sort of glow in the sky above a city. Or it could come from the stadium, nearby stadium, or just street light. So various sources of light pollution. The light pollution can also come from the moon. So obviously there are times when the moon is not visible, so it is up during the day, and there are times when it is up at night. And so quite a few weeks in every month we have the moon getting in our way of imaging. And now there are of course narrowband filters that you can use with monochrome cameras, but many people would like to use color cameras, dSLRs, or just a single shot specialist astrophotography camera. And not only because it is much quicker to do this way, but also because we don't have too much time, especially in the UK. So it's always clouded, or too much moisture in the air, or the sky is not very steady. So lots of reasons why you have very limited time in the UK to do imaging. So many people realize that you can help with this if you use a single shot color camera instead of a monochrome with lots of different filters and filter wheel. Some people still enjoy that, but the big majority now moved, I think, into color cameras used with these very clever filters. So these filters would cut off the light pollution. So you can see that it only has two narrow bands where the light can go through the filter, and it covers a couple of important emission lines like the hydrogen beta line, the oxygen 3, and the hydrogen alpha. And the hydrogen alpha is, as you probably know, the universe is full of hydrogen. This is what our stars are made of, and there is still quite a lot of hydrogen atoms in space, and when they are heated up, they will emit light. It's a reddish glow practically. You cannot really see it with the naked eye. You have to do long exposure imaging to see this. The other emission line is the oxygen 3. There is also lots of oxygen in some parts, in some nebulosities, in some supernova remnants, because when a star blows up, then there is oxygen basically being made during that process. So with this filter you can filter out the light pollution whilst you still have an image which is color image. So if you only had one narrowband filter, then for example if you had a hydrogen alpha filter used with a color camera, then you only have a red image. That's it. So no other part of the spectrum will go through. If you use an oxygen 3 filter in front of a color camera, then you only have a sort of bluish greenish image.
Greenish.
and then you will have to combine those images. But having such a filter means that just by taking one shot you can have something like this. Depending on how you process it, you can have different looks for that image. And there are triple or dual versions of this.
Yes, there's the L Extreme, I
Yeah, the
believe.
L Extreme is narrower in this part, so that only lets through the oxygen 3, and it makes it even more sort of crispy image. Well, anyway, so the L Enhance and the L Extreme filters are very popular. There are other manufacturers as well who came out with a similar filter. Like ZWO has the same filter called dual band, ZWO dual band filters. ASKAR, Sharpstar brand, ASKAR, just came out with a similar dual band filter as well. We just started selling them.
Okay, can we just move on now to this last banner here, which is very interesting. Something to do with cleaning, I believe.
Yes, so there are lots of different ways of cleaning optics, and these are very specialist products. This is practically a polymer of red color, although it's available in transparent color as well, but in astronomy mostly we use the red version of it. It's just easier to see a red polymer on the surface of the glass so that you know where you applied the polymer already. So you just practically like paint it over or spray it over an optical surface, and you let it dry, and then you peel it off after about 15-20 minutes, and you get an absolutely clear optical surface. So it is safer than using other methods. You will certainly not scratch the surface with some dust, etc. And but I a little bit oversimplified the use of it. So there are instruction videos available. So because when you have an optical surface like this, you don't have any problems. But when it's actually built in a cell, then you have to be careful at the edges. So a little bit more complicated, but it's a great product. This is used on very large telescopes as well, so they spray them on the large surfaces.
So is it fair to say we sell kits for very small telescopes?
Yeah, we sell. Well, the sample kits are good for even if someone wanted to clean some eyepieces, and these are used for other like in electronics as well, in nanotechnology. So it's quite serious stuff. There are other simple methods of cleaning as well. We have the Bader Optical Wonder Kit, which contains a liquid as well as a cleaning cloth, and that is a less safe way, but sort of simpler way of cleaning optics. But generally the advice is that don't clean your optics very frequently. That's
Zoltan, you haven't got time for all of that.
You again. Okay. So,
come on, what's your next product you can tell us about?
Yeah, you see, I need to do that because you can see we have some really heavy big instruments here. So this is, well, probably 20 kilogram at least. Yeah. So this is an apochromatic pair of binoculars, really high end. I won't tell you the exact price, but it's around £4,000. So, and this is amazing. So when you look through it, it's amazing views, really sharp, crisp, beautiful to look at things. And when you have the sharpness, that means that you have contrast, so you can see very faint objects that would otherwise be hidden behind the blackness of the sky. And yeah, so these are really great instruments. obviously you need a heavy duty mounting head as well, and a nice sturdy tripod. So APM sells not only the binoculars, but also the mounting heads, and the tripods we get from Berlebach, from Germany. So they are available in various colors. They are available not only for these binoculars, but also for telescope mounts like the EQ5, EQ6.
I see
And
these are
rubber mounts.
120s, 120/90s I'm looking
Yeah,
at.
so
What other
this is
sizes
the
do we do?
120. They are also available in, so this is the 90-degree version, and they are available in the 45-degree version as well. But obviously the 90-degree version is more for visual observers of the night sky. The 45 degree is more for nature observers, so people who wanted just to have a look around or look at ships on the sea and this kind of stuff.
So what other sizes do we do?
So we have, this is available in 100mm as well, and 150. The 150 is a real monster, and it is also quite expensive. So I think the price of that is around £8,000.
Okay.
Plus the mounting head and the tripod. So this set is about £5,000. But this is a really huge enjoyment that you can get from this. You can see from this cable. So we have some electronics that can be attached here on the side, and Nexus digital setting circle, which you can use to point at the sky, and it will tell you what you're looking at. So after an alignment process, you can move it around and you will know what you're looking at. Or the other way around, you can choose an object and then it will tell you which direction to move the telescope. Okay,
thank you.
Okay, so at 365 Astronomy we supply telescopes, telescope mounts, astrophotography products, accessories, which we were showing you already the binoculars here. So mainly observation binoculars. We also have a small range of smaller binoculars for bird watching that can be used also for stargazing. Okay, so coming back to this one. So this is a small setup, an EQ3 mount with a Sharpstar 76 EDPH, which is a very fine apochromatic instrument. So apochromat means that it has an optical system that cuts out color aberration. So basically, if you had a simple optical system, a simple lens system, then the different wavelengths of the light, so red, yellow, blue, they would actually focus in different points behind the telescope, which means that when you point at something, then you will not actually have a very sharp image. The apochromatic telescopes use glasses of various
Rare earths, really, isn't it?
density, and by doing that they achieve a system where chromatic aberration is minimal, which means that you will be sharp for the whole visible part of the spectrum, and you have very sharp image, whether it's used for visual or imaging.
Okay, I see this is a 76, as you say. What's the range that we actually sell of ASKAR telescopes, Sharpstar ASKAR telescopes?
So Sharpstar came to the market recently with their own name, but actually they had been around for quite a few years. So they were supplying many other telescope manufacturers or businesses in Europe and worldwide. and only about 2 years ago they started, 2-3 years ago they started selling under their own name. Recently they came out with a range of a new brand called ASKAR, which is the sort of finest instruments, really high-end telescopes and other products they manufacture.
I see you've got one over here. Can we just talk about that?
Yeah,
while
so
we're at it?
that's an ASKAR. You can see that they are very similar in appearance, the same sort of white, red and black colors used. This is a 600 millimeter focal length, 108 millimeter aperture, and the beauty of this telescope is that the fully illuminated imaging field is really large, so 66 millimeter diameter, which means that it can easily cover a very large sensor, larger than full frame. So for example, we have the more heavy instruments G4 cameras, which is 36 millimeter by 36.9 by 36.9, so it would work with even that kind of sensors as well.
So what other sizes of Sharpstar do we see?
Yeah, so we have a 61 EDPH, we have the 76, 94 as well. Then we have, so these are triplet apochromatic telescopes, so 3 lens elements at the front, and then we have a 100 millimeter quintuplet, which means that 3 plus 2 lens elements. Then we have 121 and 140 millimeter apochromats, so those are triplets. And we also have a couple of ASKAR lenses, which are really small lenses, similar to, in appearance they are very similar to photographic lenses, but photographic lenses usually have lots of optical elements, and that makes them very convenient to use during the day when it's bright, but at night when you need long exposure, then those are not really convenient, or they won't produce the same quality. So, and those lenses have been specifically designed to be astrophotography instruments, optical systems for camera lenses, so they can be used with DSLRs or mirrorless cameras as well.
So I understand there's a 180 millimeter.
Yeah, there is an FMA 180, and there is an ACL 200. Yeah.
That's basically an f4 200 millimeter telephoto lens, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I believe you use.
I have used one. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so as I mentioned previously, ZWO is one of our biggest suppliers, and so here are a couple of examples of the cameras. So this is a 224 MC. So this is, you can see the size of the sensor, not very big, but this is good. The pixels are very tiny, and the chip is also completely small. I believe the diameter is approximately 6 millimeter.
Something like that, yes.
And basically, when you put it behind a telescope, then you will achieve a high magnification of something like Jupiter. Yeah, so you can then take a video of that object, and there are lots of specialist software. Some of them are free of charge, and then you can stock these images that are part of that video. So in one video, let's say 2-minute video with 30 frames per second, it will give you 3600 images. Now, many of those images will be not usable, not very nice. So, because when you point it at Jupiter at high magnification, then the sky conditions change, moist and density of air changes, etc. And that means that the air vibrates. The object Jupiter will be coming into focus, going out of focus. It's a constant movement, and when you take short exposures in the video, so very fast images, then you actually you will have lots of images that are good, but lots of images that are not good. So you can choose to use, let's say, 30% of those images. From 3,600 images, 30% is still about 1,000 images. Yeah, so that's quite a big number to stack together and create one really nice image of Jupiter. Now, I'm not very good with this, to be honest, but my colleague John he's been producing quite a lot of beautiful images of Jupiter, Saturn, etc.
Okay, can we talk about these ones here? These are
yeah. So these are cooled cameras. So you can see we have Peltier cooling somewhere around here, and we have a fan here so that ventilates the air.
And how much cooling can they achieve?
These are usually going down to about 30-35 degrees below ambient temperature. So, which means that if it's if it's a warm summer night in the UK, let's say 20 degrees, then you can go down to -10 degrees with these. If it is a winter in Finland, then probably you could go down to -70. If it's
and what's the reason for cooling the camera?
Yeah, okay, so when you cool the camera, then the electronic noise reduces, so you can achieve nicer images. Basically, that's the idea.
Okay, moving across, I see you've got a range of products here. Can you describe what these are, please?
Yeah, okay, so the ASIAIR Pro is John created a video. Yeah, I believe you were talking about the ASIAIR Pro. So the ASIAIR Pro is a device. It's a small Raspberry Pi based computer that you can attach to your telescope. Yeah, let me see. We actually don't have a finder scope shoe, but if we had a finder scope shoe, then it would be just like that. You could attach it to there, and so you have USB ports on this. You can connect it to your laptop. You have power ports, so you could connect a dew heater. There's a DSLR connector as well, and various cables are available for DSLRs. This is the power port.
And the main point is it creates its own hotspot, so you can use
it
wirelessly.
So it creates a Wi-Fi hotspot, yeah, and it will. Now you wonder that it's a full metal enclosure, so how on earth can it provide a good Wi-Fi? Well, sometimes if you have a problem, you might need a Wi-Fi booster. I think they are sold for like, I don't know, 10-20 pounds, something like that. So it has a memory card which contains the application itself, and it can be used for storage as well.
And they also include a 64 gigabyte card.
64, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, so so basically the application, and John, I'm sure he talked about in his video a lot more about it with some sample images of or screenshots of what it can do to a mobile phone or a tablet, but it's a complex system. So you point your telescope at the night sky. It takes images. It then creates. It will understand of what direction it looks. So it does it through photometry, and then it will. If you choose an object, so it basically aligns the telescope, and then when you choose an object, then it will take an image again, and then you can center it very precisely. Now you might wonder, yeah, but okay, I can see that with my eyes, but sometimes you don't see it with your eyes. So if there's a really faint object that you don't actually see, unless you take a 300-second image, then it is very helpful if this device helps you to point your telescope exactly at that object.
Okay, so that's very good, thank you. And I see next to
Yeah.
you've got an EAF.
Okay, so the EAF is an electronic automatic focuser. So it's a focus motor, to be honest. It's not a focuser, but you attach it to your focuser, and it comes with a bracket. It comes with all kinds of accessories, as you can see. Allen keys and screws, washers, and various sizes for 4 different sizes of these flexible couplers that you will couple the rod of the motor to your focuser's rod. Yeah, because the focusers, various focusers have various sizes of rods on that side, and so that's why you need different sizes. And then there is a bracket. Okay, so in addition to the cameras, the ASIAIR Pro and the electronic focus motor, we also have lots of accessories. So we have, so these are the packaging of the larger cameras. Then we have electronic filter wheels for the monochrome cameras. They come in different sizes to accept 31, 36 millimeter or 2-inch filters, simply because different telescope sizes and different camera sensor sizes would need a different filter size. So that's the reason. Then we have the hand controller for the electronic autofocuser. Then we have various adapters for Nikon and Canon camera lenses, so you could use these cameras together with a Canon or Nikon lens. Some other accessories for the ASIAIR Pro, a filter drawer and spare filter holders. Then we have off-axis guider. So the off-axis guider is, we described the guiding before as a feedback system. So this can be done through a mini guide scope. Then you have the guide camera at the back of that, or you can use an off-axis guider, which means that you have this device at the end of the telescope, and then you have the camera behind it, and so the camera goes this way and your guide camera will go this way. So there is a mirror in here, and it takes off part of the light that is coming into the telescope, and it uses that light, that image, to find a guide star. Okay, these are 2 different ways of achieving the same effect.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so I've talked about this a bit earlier when we were showing you around our partners, and so this is the actual piece. This is the EAGLE4. This is now the latest version of it. On the image it actually shows the EAGLE3, the previous version. Primaluce Lab comes out with a new version approximately every year, so this has been around now for quite a few years, and this latest version has got a couple of new devices. So earlier, from the EAGLE2 to EAGLE3, it was mainly only new processor, larger memory, larger storage, etc. So these kind of changes were there, but in this version there are a couple of extra features that were not available before. So for example, we have the GPS model. So it will actually, when you start it up, it will provide information for the software, whichever astronomy software you use for controlling your mount, etc. It will tell you your exact location and the time, which is important for precise tracking of the telescope. So the Wi-Fi was there, that's fine. But what else we have here is some kind of lens system. So what is that? So this is a sky quality meter practically, and it could be actually, depending on whether this way or that way you set it up, you can unscrew this and put it at the other end. So it doesn't matter which direction you set it up, and the GPS then you just rotate in that direction. So it will work still, or even actually like that. Okay, so that's the sky quality meter and the GPS, and otherwise the rest of it is pretty much the same as before. So we have a couple of tricks in the software. So in the application there were some developments, and for example you can completely switch off the red lights, the LEDs, to make sure that there is nothing intervenes with your imaging session. Okay, so very nice device. We warmly recommend this. Made in Italy. Okay, so what else we get from Primaluce Lab? So I was also talking about the Esatto. The Esatto in Italy just means exact. So this is the largest version, the 4-inch of the. So this is a focuser actually. It's a motorized focuser unit. You don't have any manual control, so you have to really use it through computer, PC, laptop, etc. So available in 4-inch, 3-inch and 2-inch sizes, and we keep all kind of adapters for these, because you need an adapter between the device and the telescope, and you need another adapter between the device and your camera.
So this replaces the telescope's own focuser?
Yes,
then?
this replaces the telescope's own focuser completely.
Okay, I see you've got some other.
There will be also there's an ARCO connector, so there will be also a rotator system, so you will be able to connect it to that as well.
Yeah, that's very new, isn't it? The rotator.
Yeah,
it's not
the
out yet.
rotator is not yet available. Hopefully it will be available very soon.
I see you've got some other products here. You've got some
Yeah, so
dovetail bars.
you could see on that image that so you can connect this very cleverly to your telescope. So you have the telescope tube rings, so you can join it there. You have the telescope underneath, then you have the EAGLE4, and then at the top you could have a clamp. So you have the clamp at the top, also attached to this, and then you can have. Oh, I didn't bring any of. No, I did, but only these big ones. Okay, so then you can have a dovetail bar, and on top of this you could have, let's say, another tube ring for another telescope.
So it's a modular system, really, isn't it?
Yeah, or you could have a large guide scope. So depending on what size of telescope you have here, you could have a really large telescope here, which needs a completely large guide scope. Yeah, so if it is because the guide scope, the size of the guide scope will depend on the focal length of the main telescope. Okay, and these are available in various sizes. So the dovetail bar, this is the Losmandy style dovetail bar, which is available in 495 millimeter. There's a 350, and this is the 240 millimeter, and there's also 140 length. And they are available in Vixen style as well, which is a narrower type. And the clamping is a universal, so it will accept the narrower Vixen style as well as the wider Losmandy style, like these. And these clampings are available in these 3 sizes. Okay, this is called Maxi, and this is just large.
Okay, so you've got some very large tube rings.
Yeah, so the tube rings are, we have quite a wide range of tube rings. 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105, I can't remember 110, but 115 certainly. 145 I remember. This is 235, and I think we have a 180 as well. So quite a lot of different sizes available. There used to be 300 as well, but there wasn't a huge demand, and because they have to manufacture them like, I don't know, 50 pieces a time. So that's why they, at the moment, they stopped manufacturing them.
Yeah. This is only just a small sample though of what we actually
Yeah,
sell.
we have.
Primaluce. So look on our website, you'll
Yeah.
get a much deeper understanding of what products they sell.
Okay, so we were talking about guiding, right? So this is a mini guide scope, and you can have off-axis guiding. Yeah. Now you can use, of course, a ZWO Mini type of camera, like this one. So this is great for guiding, small chip, etc. Yeah, you can use it for planetary imaging as well. So this is a cheap solution. At the moment, this only does a single star guiding, which is good enough for most of the applications. Now, if you want the best guiding solution, then of course for larger systems, I would say, then we have this MGEN from Lacerta, which is a very clever system, and it does multi-star guiding. So it looks at the star field and takes an image, and if there are 30 stars, then on those 30 stars, if there are 70, then all of those 70 stars, it will do the guiding. So it will calculate and look at what happens to those stars, and it means that it will be extremely precise in guiding. So it's a very small but very sensitive chip, so this will be used either in your mini guide scope, at the end of the mini guide scope, or you can use it through off-axis guiding as well. Now this is a standalone system, so this is different from what I mentioned here. So the, for example, the 290 Mini, which is a guide camera. This guide camera, the ZWO guide cameras, need some kind of system. So it needs either an ASIAIR PRO, or it needs, let's say, an Eagle, or your laptop, or your PC. But it needs something that you can connect to USB. You plug it into your computer, and it uses, there should be a software like PhD2 is a guiding software, so you need to use that. But the MGEN is a standalone system, so it comes with own brain, and it can be used just with this. Set it up here on this screen, although this also can be connected to a computer, so whichever way you like, but you don't need a computer. Basically, you can just use this handset with that, and then you have a couple of cables. You have a guiding cable that goes to the mount, and then you have another cable that goes to the camera, and that's it, and it will work on its own. So the idea is that you don't really need a computer, but if you and many people use it with large setups, a large telescope, with a large guide scope, if they want the best solution. It's very popular in the US, very popular in Japan, and becoming more and more popular in the UK as well, and in Europe.
Okay, Zoltan, you also sell eyepieces. Would you tell us something about those, please?
Yeah, we talked about astrophotography and imaging a lot, but actually there are still some people who enjoy visual observations in the country, and one of the best ways of doing it is to get something like a really good apochromatic telescope, or a good quality Newtonian, or a Schmidt-Cassegrain grain as well would do very well, and then couple it together with a very high quality eyepiece. And the best eyepieces you might be aware of are TeleVue eyepieces. So they are really high quality, and we have a wide range. We have the Delight. They are acceptable price, so it's a very good value to get a Delight eyepiece. For the panoptic eyepieces, we recommend for binoculars like the APM binoculars that we showed earlier. Although they come with a pair of eyepieces, but if you want a spare or an even higher quality eyepiece, then the TeleVue panoptic eyepieces are really good. So the 19 and the 24mm panoptics are very popular for these kind of large binoculars. Then of course we have the Nagler eyepieces, the Delos. Some of them are extremely expensive but extremely good. I have tried myself and you can see the difference. Or it's not that you can see the difference, what you can see is an object. So basically when I was using a good eyepiece, but not a Nagler, then I could hardly see the object. Yeah, I can remember exactly what I was looking at, but I could not really see. Maybe I had to use my imagination. But as soon as I swapped into a Nagler, the object was there, so I could see it. So you have to have the money for it. I agree. But if you can afford, then I won't recommend having a TeleVue eyepiece. Yeah.
So should I move over and just have a see what we've got? Just
Yeah,
very
so,
quickly have a look at the ones
so
we've got.
So we have some zoom eyepieces as well. So the 3 to 6mm zoom eyepieces are very good for planetary, high magnification work. TeleVue also makes telescopes. We didn't display them here now, but we usually keep the 85mm in stock, and they also have some photo reducer flattener for photography, and these are really good as well.
Yeah, I swear by the Power Mates. I've got a 4x Power Mate.
Yeah, all the Power Mates and the TeleVue Parlos are extremely popular. I would say the 2.5 times Power Mate is probably one of the most popular TeleVue products. Now, in addition to telescopes, telescope mounts, cameras and accessories, we also sell, as I previously mentioned, we have this large observation binocular, but smaller versions as well. And APM also supplies us with smaller binoculars, 50mm, 80mm, etc. But we also have some Celestron binoculars. We moved quite well into astrophotography, and we try to focus more on the products that we import directly, like ZWO, Primaluce, Optolong, the first Contact Polymers, and the Emerald Planetarium system. And but we have some remaining stock, quite a lot actually. We have probably 30 pieces of the SkyMaster DX 9x63. So this is a really nice pair of binoculars that can be handheld for stargazing. Yeah, I use one of these in my observatory just for a quick look around to check the quality of the sky, or just look at some objects whilst imaging. Yeah, so you can enjoy both imaging and visual observation at the same time. The Granite is a smaller pair with only 33mm aperture, but this is a sort of high quality pair of binoculars for bird watching, so you can take it with you in your large pocket. It's not that small, but it is manageable. Yeah, and we have a few of these left. These used to be really expensive, so but because we purchased the remaining stock, the full stock from the distributor, so that's why we can offer them at a very, very good price. So hurry up if you want something like that. Finally, main interest for the photography show visitors would be some Samyang lenses. We wanted to sell these because my original hobby was photography back when I was 15 years old, and originally I wanted to start a shop selling camera lenses and DSLRs, but that part of the business is really tough, so we ended up with doing astrophotography and astronomy, telescopes, etc. But at some point we started selling Samyang lenses, but I believe because there are so many camera shops all around the country and all around the world, that people don't see us as suppliers of these kind of products. So this is a good opportunity for you to grab one of these, because we are practically clearing them out at a reduced price, and they are very good lenses. I use a couple of these myself. I won't be selling those, but we still have more than just you see here. So we have about probably 10-15 camera lenses left in stock, so heavily reduced price.
Okay, Zoltan, well, you've shown us your products, which is very nice.
Yeah.
Would you just like to say a final few words to the customers?
Yeah, well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, then we will be around during the show on the 6th and 7th, so you can call us, and we will be also, around otherwise. So you can reach us on the phone, on email, or text and WhatsApp in any way. Myself and my colleagues, John and Steve and Andy, they are answering mostly the emails. Yeah, this was only a fraction of what we saw. We have a little more than 3,000 products on the website. This is a very difficult time because of COVID and because of Brexit. So lots of, practically all dealers, distributors have problems with getting hold of products. ZWO managed to catch up with the demand very well. Primaluce is also, but because of Brexit, we had some problems with basically getting hold of the products. They were just stuck at customs for a long time. Yeah, so thank you for listening and hope you enjoyed it, and see you around. Ask questions if you wish.
Well, and you'll be able to get back now to your white training, Zoltan.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.